Coincidences. Coincidences, Alex Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow members, honored guests, and even those of you who think I can't speak without a PowerPoint. Today, not only am I going to speak without a PowerPoint, I've also brought a happy story in theme with the special speakers meeting. One of my favorite writers, Malcolm Gladwell, says that sometimes the gap between coming up with a story, hearing about a story, and actually writing about it can be substantial. I've thought about whether or not people meet by accident or by design, so to speak. Or there's something else to that. Do they meet every time they meet? Is that a coincidence? I must have thought about this for over 10 years, maybe since I was in high school. So in my case, this is over a decade. But it wasn't until recently that I had a really good story to use in my speech to illustrate the power of coincidences and how some people react to them and what they made of them. A friend of mine came from a skiing trip in Andorra, a small country in Europe, and he told me the craziest story. Apparently, him and his friends, a group of about 7 or 8 people, went to a bar called The Underground, which is run by a Dutch guy in Andorra, and they were having free drinks for about 2 weeks and then for the entire duration of their vacation. And they had unlimited amounts of alcohol and drinks and cocktails for everybody there. And it all sounded a little bit mysterious, given that a drink in that European ski resort can run anywhere from 6 to 8 euros. I thought, what was going on? And he said, well, there's actually a story behind this mystery. Apparently, my friend Yasin, who used to be a ski instructor there in Bulgaria, he was living in London at that time. He was flying from London to Andorra almost every winter, and he was sitting next to a girl from England on one of his trips, Christy, and they started talking. And at some point, they had to land. They never remembered to exchange phone numbers. They were so busy talking that they never exchanged any contact information. So Yasin, who is normally a very convivial person, very sociable, he was sitting at a bar, and he was so bummed that he couldn't, he didn't take a phone number, that he started almost looking sick. Like, he was so pale. The bartender asked him, "What is the matter with you? What is wrong?" And he said, I met this girl on the plane. I'm so dumb. I never remembered to pick up, to ask her for a phone number. What am I going to do now? Coincidentally, at the same time, Christy walks into that same bar, and Yasin obviously recognizes her again. And then he tells the bartenders, the Dutch guys who are on the bar, they staged this whole scenario as if it's his birthday. So everybody was having free drinks. And they said, well, now we're going to bring Yasin's birthday present. They grabbed Christy and they, take her to him. And now she has to give him a kiss because he's the birthday boy. And then one thing led to another, and then they went back to London. They dated for a couple of years. They got married. They had a baby boy called Johan. And now Michel, the Dutch bartender, is the godfather of the boy. So ever since, Michel is so proud of his achievement that anybody who knows Yasin or Christy or somehow related to the story, somehow heard of it, drinks for free. And it's been a few years, maybe 6 or 7 years. So if you go to The Underground, you know what story you can tell them. And so stories like that make me wonder, do people really meet by accident? Or for a reason? Did Yasin and Christy sit next to each other coincidentally on the plane and then coincidentally also met in the bar on the last day of Christy's vacation there? I believe not. I believe people meet for a reason. I think people bump into other people because of a series of either conscious or unconscious decisions that they made somewhere in the past, and it's just up to them to recognize that fact. And I think most of the answers are in the people around us. We just have to pay more attention to them.